Shrishtam Manamavi Ishuchi Putram Atra Surupam Rupam Tasya Kracha Muri Purim Maturim Koshtuvatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Ho Radhika Madhuvasam Prabhu Yasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya He Mabhadibhyasthami Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Vina Aparada Lakshe Chiptastu Kamaditoram Pamadi Kripa Mahitvam Shanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Go Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Saketi, Govinda Damodara Madhavi, Sham Sundar Shkanda Shikhar, Smarahas Murali Manara, Radhikarasakamama Kripanidhe, Swapriyacharna King Kurim Kurum. Tavaivasmi, na jivami taya bina, iti vikyayo devi tam, namaham charnatikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers, thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadya Paramaratatam Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravisht Om Vishnu Pada, Ashtotaras Sri Rupanugacharya Varya, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vanchakalpatarvasta, Kripasindhubhyevacha, Putitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo.
Shri Gurudeva ki jai.
By the causeless mercy of Sri Guru and Gauranga. That means not as a result of our past karma, not as a result of any effort that we have initiated, but only by the causeless mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have assembled here in the very affectionate lap of Giriraj Govardhan to discuss this subject, how to enter into bhajan, and especially through the medium of the aprakrita kabbya, supernatural transcendental poetry revealed in this world by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through his intimate associate, the Paramarasik, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur. First of all, we should know that despite millions of efforts, we cannot be successful. Bhajanurjita sajjana sangha patim. In order to enter into bhajan, one needs to be bhajan urjita, empowered. Some shakti must come. At first, the disciple understands, oh, my Guru Dev is tatarpi jani ami tahar prakash. The prakash of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the manifestation of Akhanda Guru Tattva, Balaram Prabhu or Nityananda Prabhu. By serving Sri Guru and fulfilling the manobishta, the heart's desire of Sri Guru, then, because Balaram or Nityananda Prabhu, they are the Adhishtatri Devata of Sandhini Shakti, then this Sandhini Shakti enters into our heart. That means existence. What type of existence? Eternal existence. That existence is which is not changing with time. So in our conditioned state, then our mind is unsteady, chanchal, anishtita, not steady. It is always undergoing various types of vikar, sankalpa, vikalpa, accepting and rejecting, and the appearance, ashesha kamana, riddhi majimora, unlimited desires are manifesting. So it's always changing. So when that Sandhini Shakti comes by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu through his representative Sri Guru, then sthir buddhi, the heart becomes steady. The Dham is manifest from Balaram Prabhu or Nityananda Prabhu. So that is the platform. And on that platform of Sandhini Shakti, then Samvit and Ladini can dance there. The realization of Radha Krishna can come in that steady heart. So bhajan urjita sajjana sangapatim. One has to be urjita, empowered to do bhajan. That power is not with us. That comes by kripa of Sri Guru. Sri Narottam Das Thakur, oh, you were just singing this song when I came in. Sri Narottam Das Thakur has said, Vedic Gai Jahara Charito. Hey Gurudev, your glories have been sung throughout the Vedas. What does it mean? In the various Upanishads, the histories of the Sat-śiṣya and Sadguru, authentic disciple and authentic Guru have been presented in the Upanishads, in the Vedas, Shruti. By hearing them, then the sanskar, the impression comes. How to become Sat-śiṣya? The Sat-śiṣya can be bhajan urjita. If someone is not Sat-śiṣya, then making millions of efforts to do bhajan, but there will not be fruit. In the Chandogya Upanishad, there it is said, once there was a boy, small boy. His name was Satyakama, and his mother's name was Jabal. So he had an ambition. He said, oh mother, I want to go and stay in the ashram and become a brahmachari under the guidance of Sri Guru. So when you go to the ashram of Shri Guru, in those days the Guru would ask, what is your gotra? What is your family line? So, oh mother, please tell me, what is my gotra? His mother, Jabal, she was a maid servant. And she had served over the years in different households under different wealthy persons. So plainly she said to her son, oh my dear son, I'm a maidservant, and as I was serving in this household and that household of different wealthy persons, somehow I attained you. So I cannot say what your gotra is, but you can just say that you are Satyakama Jabala. You are Satyakama, the son of Jabal, the maidservant. So here's a child. He is very innocent, very simple, sarlata, straightforward. His heart has not become corrupted and bitter. Duplicity has not entered him. So happily he left home and he went to the ashram of Gautam Rishi. And there when he arrived, Gautam Rishi asked, in front of the other students, oh, what is your gotra? He said, my mother is a maidservant and she was serving in many households. And during that time, she attained me. So my name is Satyakam Jabala. Gautam Rishi said, you must be a Brahmin. You must be from the Brahmin Gotra. Because the quality of the Brahmin is truthfulness. So only a Brahmana could just speak the truth, undiluted, unmitigated, not mixed, not twisting anything, not justifying anything. Just, this is the truth. So you must be a Brahmana. You should go, take bath in the holy river and come back, bring samit pani, bring wood for the jagya, and I will give you the initiation. So he received initiation from Gautam Rishi. After initiation, one must accept the responsibility. Sometimes my Gurudev, he would walk around the mart, and if he saw any brahmachari sitting or lying down anywhere, oh, what are you doing? What is your responsibility? A human being without responsibility is an animal. So he gave some seva responsibility. He said, I have 400 sick cows. They're not very healthy. They're not very well. I want you to take care of my 400 sick cows. So then, Satyakama, he went to the cows and he took them out to graze into the forest. He said to himself, he made a vow, I will serve my Gurudev's cows and I will try in all ways to make them healthy, and also that the herd will increase, and I will not return to the ashram until the herd is 1,000 strong, healthy cows. So he went out to the forest, and from meadow to meadow, day after day, he was taking care of them. Gradually, the herd was increasing and increasing. And it came to the point where there were 1,000 healthy cows and bulls. The sun was setting, it was evening time, and he brought all the cows together, and he was about to take rest, when one bull came to him. and began to instruct him in the Brahma Gyan, spiritual knowledge. He listened very carefully. The bull said, I will teach you about the Ekapad Vibhuti. I will teach you 1/4 of the knowledge of the greatness of the absolute truth. And that bull instructed him. It was not actually just a bull, but rather Vayu Devata, the god of the wind, Vayu Devata, had entered into the bull and was instructing him through that bull. Then Vayu Devata said, tomorrow Agni Dev will instruct you in the 2nd quarter of the knowledge of the Parabrahma, the absolute truth. So then the next day he took the cows to graze, and when he came to make his camp at night, he was lighting the fire because it became cool. So he was lighting the fire, and when he lit the fire, then the fire began to talk to him. And Agni Dev instructed him in the 2nd quarter of the Vibhuti, the greatness of the Parabrahma absolute truth. Before Vayudeva, the Agni Dev, disappeared from the fire, he said, tomorrow Surya Dev, the sun god, will come and instruct you in the form of a swan. So then he took rest. The next day he took the cows to graze. In the evening he gathered them together to make a camp, and he was by the side of a river. And just then a beautiful swan flew down and landed on the river, and then, oh, Satyakama, and began to instruct him in the 3rd part of the Vibhuti, the greatness of the absolute truth. Then the swan said, tomorrow Pran Devata will give you the last quarter of the teaching in the form of a madgu. Madgu is one type of bird, a diver bird, that swims, goes under the water. So then the next night, after taking the cows to graze, he made his camp by the bank of a river, and one diver bird came there and instructed him. So now his knowledge was complete, and he became Brahmavit, a knower of Brahma, the absolute truth. So now he gathered all the 1,000 cows and bulls together, and he returned to the ashram of Gautam Rishi. So when he returned to the ashram, his Gurudev looked in his eyes, and from his eyes he could understand, my disciple has become Brahmavit, a knower of the absolute truth, from his eyes. Because he's shining. His chitta is steady. So then his Guru said, who has imparted to you the knowledge of Parabrahma? Satyakama said, oh Gurudev, I have not been instructed by any human being. But I have heard that if one receives instructions directly from his Guru, from the Acharya, only then do they become perfect. So whatever I have heard, Gurudev, kindly let me hear it again from you. So then Gautam Rishi, he spoke the teaching of the 4 parts of the Vibhuti of Parabrahma, the absolute truth. Hearing from his Guru, Satyakam, he became perfect. And he himself became a great Acharya. So Narottam Das Thakur is saying, Vedi Gai Jahara Charito. The glories of Sri Guru have been described throughout the Vedas. The teaching here is this. First of all, Satyakama, he is niskapat. he's free from duplicity. He's free from hypocrisy. He's just a straightforward and honest person. And secondly, when he came to his guru's ashram, Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur has made this comment that he didn't think, okay, now I've left my mother's working hard as a maidservant, some here. I've come to Guru's ashram. It's like a holiday camp. And I will sit here and just meditate to find the truth. He was not lazy. He was not concerned for his own comfort, but rather receiving responsibility from his Gurudev. He took up that responsibility with a full endeavor, with full enthusiasm, and tried to increase the herd of his Guru. One may say, oh, what does this have to do with bhajan? But because he was engaged in the niskapata niswart Guru Seva, without duplicity and without selfishness, engaged simply in service of Guru, then, from everywhere, all the devatas were coming to him and instructing him from different sources. Even though he became enlightened in a mystical way, still, when he came back to his Gurudev, he had a dinata buddhi, dainya bhav. I am foolish. I don't know anything. I am worthless. I am insignificant. Though he had become enlightened, but before Gurudev, he considered himself completely insignificant. He did not say, oh, I don't need to hear anymore, I have heard everything. But he prayed, Gurudev, I cannot be successful, I want to hear from you. Kindly instruct me, then my life will become successful. So, by this, he became Acharya, and he became qualified to pass on the message of his Gurudev. So this is called a Srotapanta. Srotapanta. When the Shabda Brahma, the absolute truth, appears on the lips of Sri Guru, it enters into the ear of the Guru Seva Parayana Shishya, the disciple who is Seva Parayana. Guru Seva Parayana, that means completely absorbed, all senses, in Gurudev's service. Only then the Shabda Brahma enters into the heart and gives the revelation, Anubhav, Anubhuti. And then the disciple, he becomes empowered, he can do bhajan. Only sitting in one place and trying to chant lakhs and Harinam will not do anything. Just like when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he went to visit Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. And there were some disciples of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, they complained to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Oh, we left our homes, we left everything because we wanted to do Astakali Leela Smaran in our Siddha Deha. But Babaji Maharaj is telling us that we should chop wood, we should bring water to the ashram, we should give water to the brinjal, grow eggplants. If we wanted to grow eggplants, we could have grown eggplants in our own garden, in our own home with our family. Why did we leave everything to come here to grow eggplants? Oh, how did this question come? Why? Because Vedigai Jaha Charito. They were not hearing, they were not paying attention to the message of the Vedas, where the actual Guru, Sadguru and Sat-śiṣya relationship has been described very beautifully. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur told them, whatever the Vaishnava, great Vaishnava like Vaishnava Sarvabhauma, the emperor of all the Vaishnavas in Puri, Navadvip and Brajmandal, whatever he tells you to do, that is not an ordinary activity. That is not the same as growing the eggplants in your garden at home. If Gurudev will tell you to do it, now you become connected with him. Just as Sri Krishna said in Gita, Mahatmanastu mam parta daivim prakritim asritaha. The Mahatmas, the great souls, they're under the shelter of the internal potency. So when they give agya, they give an order, they express their desire through order. When we connect with them and begin to carry out that order, then we also become under the shelter of the internal potency. Daivim prakritim asritaha. Then when we are under the shelter, all mind and senses have become purified and peaceful. At that time, then you can do bhajan. You know that our Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he described the glories of Harinam. He said, Sankirtana hoite papa sangsara mochan Shuddha chitte sarva bhakti sadhana udgam. If a person chants the holy name without offense, then Sankirtana hoite pap sangsara mochan. His sins are destroyed. He becomes liberated from attachments to this world. Shuddha chitte. His chitta becomes purified, and in the Shuddha chitta, the purified chitta, sarva bhakti sadhana udgam. Then the actual sadhana awakens. In the pure chitta, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained, adosra dha tatha sadhu sangha bhajan kriyanata nivritta nishta. From here to here, this is not bhakti tattva, actually. This is shraddha tattva. It's the development of faith. It's the development of faith from soft faith to firm faith. When the faith is firm and the chitta is steady, then sadhana bhakti comes. Anyabhilasta shunyam jnana-kama dhanavritam anukulyena krishnanushilam bhakti uttama. Uttam bhakti has three parts: sadhana bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prema bhakti. Prema bhakti is the uttam bhakti, bhav bhakti is uttam bhakti, sadhana bhakti is also called uttam bhakti. So that uttam bhakti, one is qualified for uttam bhakti after when Nishta comes and then he engages and taste is coming. That is the appearance of Shuddha Bhakti from there. Before that time, it is only the development of faith. Shraddha Tattva, from Komala Shraddha to Nishta, firm faith. And then Sarva Bhakti Sadhana Udgam. Then it becomes actual sadhana, actual experience of what he's hearing and chanting and remembering. It's good that devotees have interest. What is Radha Rasa Sudhaniti? What is Vilap Kushma? It's good. But if we don't understand Bhakti Tattva, if we don't hear the Sandarbhas of Srila Jiva Goswami, then we can completely misunderstand everything. There, every anga of bhakti has been described in fine detail. In regard to smaranam, what does Jiva Goswami say? Shuddha anta karnas chet kirtana aparityagena smaranam kuryat. If your chitta has become shuddha by hearing and chanting, then with kirtana aparityagena, without giving up kirtan, now you can take up smaranam. Mahaprabhu said the same thing. Vishaya anakaila malin hoyaman, malin manahoy nahi krishnera smaran. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was not receiving money from his parents. And Mahaprabhu was very happy. Before, he was receiving some stipend from his wealthy parents, and by this he could buy some food. But he stopped receiving that money. When Mahaprabhu heard it, he was very happy. Why? Because Vishaya ana kaila malin hoiman. If you take money from materialistic persons, and then you spend this on food, you're dependent on them, You have some karmic connection with them. Then when you eat this food, then malin hoy man. Mind will become contaminated. This is why those who are advanced in bhajan, they don't depend on anyone. They do madhukari, some begging here and there. And those who are very advanced, like our Madhavendra Puri, here Yatipur, Yati means sannyasi. It's named after Madhavendra Puri. He was here. He did not even beg. He would just chant, and if some prasad came, whatever came, it came. If not, nothing. He was so absorbed in Harinam that Krishna himself came here, bringing him a pot of milk. So Mahaprabhu said, Vishaya ana koila malin hoy man, malin mana hoy nahi Krishna rasman. What does it mean? With a malin man, with a contaminated mind, you cannot remember Krishna. One thing we have to know is that words have a natural meaning. They're conventional meaning. But the conventional meaning of words for the ordinary person is called sadharana ruddhi vritti. The conventional meaning for the ordinary person. But words have a different meaning for those who are enlightened and realized in God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. That is called vidvat ruddhi vritti. So for the common person, smaran means, just remember something. What I've read in a book, then I'll remember this. Now I'm doing smaran. But what does Jiva Goswami say? Shuddha antakaranas chet kirtana aparityagena smaranam kuryat. If your chitta is purified, then you can actually remember. Otherwise, if you are chanting and remembering something you read in a book, this is the Shastra Vichar. You are deliberating. You are deliberating on the words of scripture, deliberating on the words of Guru. It's also good. But don't get carried away thinking I'm doing the Smarana Anga Bhakti. Just to make this point stronger, Jiva Goswami then describes different levels of Smaran. Krishna Naam Smaran, or Rup Smaran, Gun Smaran, Parikar Smaran, Seva Smaran, then Lila Smaran. In that order. It's called Kram Sopan Nritya, the methodology of systematic steps. So first he starts with Naam Smaran, remembering Krishna's name. Can you remember Krishna's name? What's the name of this person here? Krishna. Okay, so you all remembered Krishna's name. But the astonishing thing is, Jiva Goswami Pad said, without the Shuddha Antakaran, you cannot remember Krishna's name. So how should the Vaishnavas use the word Smaran, and how the Sadharan, ordinary person uses the word Smaran is not the same. And this is where all the Apasampradayas and everything comes from. All deviations, all Prakrita Sahajiya, all Al-Bal Karta Bhajan Nera Daravesha Sai, Sahaja Saki Beki Smarta Jatko Sai, Ati Body Chudadari, Goranga Nagari, Totakari Hei Tera Sangi Nahi Kari. 13 types of deviation. It comes because someone may be a very learned pandit, knowing all the Shastra, knowing all the books of the Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Vishwanath Thakur, Prabodhananda Saraswati, from memory, everything. But taking according to Sadharan Ruddhi Vritti. And that is very convincing to the Sadharan Lok, to ordinary people. It's very convincing. But to the actual Vaishnavas who know Siddhanta, who know Tattva, then they have no taste in this. So, because when the chitta is Shuddha, then when one remembers Krishna's names, then Tadu do yogyata bhavati. He's eligible to have a spurti. Spurti of Krishna Naam, spurti Krishna Roop, spurti Krishna Gun, spurti Krishna Parikar. Among those parikars, one of them will be your Swarup. Then Seva comes. One cannot do Seva before realizing the parikars. One cannot follow the parikars before realizing Krishna's qualities and form. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, Lila hoite nama spurte rupanuga bole. Understand? It's very simple. This is Bengali language, but very simple. Lila hoite means from the lila, nama spurti. A spurti of nam will come from remembering the lila. No, that means everything is backwards. So lila hoite nama spurti rupanuga bole na. Any pure rupanuga Vaishnava will never say such nonsense. So malimani hoy nahi Krishna smaran. With impure heart, one cannot remember, but he can do Archan. So in Archan, there's some direction how to think to gradually become purified. Just like as soon as you wake up in the morning, what do you have to say? First, roll over in your bed and give pranam to Gurudev and pray to Parampara. This is the path of Archan. Vaidhi Bhakti. Or to speak of following Raganuga Bhakti, to find someone who's following Vaidhi Bhakti is not so common, really. Then you jump out of bed and say, Chijanani vaso devaki janma vado yadubara parishatswe dobirasyan dharmam sthirachara brajinagna susmita shrimukena Brajapura vanitanam vadayan kamadevam. So do you remember? All glories to Krishna. He's not actually the son of Devaki, though they say. He's the son of Yashoda. He lives among the Brijvasis. He destroys the adharma when he's outside of Vrindavan. But Jayati, all glories to him, he's come back to Braja. And he will never leave Brijvasis again. Sthirachara Bhajanagna, Susmita, Srimukena, all moving and non-moving living entities were burning in separation from him. But now Krishna has returned, and by his beautiful smiling face, he's removed all the suffering of every moving and non-moving living entities, and by his smile, Brajapura Banitanam Vardayan Kamadevam. He's awakening calm in the hearts of Braja Gopis. It's remembering. But within the Archan Marg, it's pointing us in the right direction. But until the chitta is pure and the sport dharma, the spurti coming from Nam is there, then the smaran will not be actual pure smaran. Then you have to say, what do you say next when you wake up? Very nice. Are you doing it? No. This is Vaidhi Bhakti. You can see Archan Dipika, how to wake up in the morning. Actually, before that verse, you have to say another. Vidagda Gopala Vilasininam Sambhogacinankita Sarvagatram Pavitram Nayagiram Agamyam Brahma Pavaje Navanita Choram. This verse, and then that one. So, this is also remembering, but within Archan Marg. Vidagda Gopala Vilasininam. There are some gopis who play vilas. And they're Vidagda, they're expert in all the arts. Vidagda Gopala Vilasinan. Sambhoga Chinantkita Savagatram. And see Krishna. In the morning, you wake up, then you remember this. See Krishna's body is marked with a Sambhog Chin. Some cosmetics of Braj Gopis, some marks of their fingernails, their Sambhog Chin are on the body of Krishna. Sambhoga Chinankita Sarvagatram. Pavitram. Is this lusty? No. Pavitram. Completely pure. Amnaya Giram Agamyam. Even it's beyond the limit of the knowledge of the Vedas. This confidential pastime of Braj. Brahma Prapate. I take shelter of Brahma, the supreme truth. Navanita Choram. He is a butter thief in Braja. Then Udgayati Nam Maravindalochanam. This verse of Bhagavatam. So in Vidhi Marg, this is the method, how to wake up in the morning. Udgayati nam maravindalochalam. It's morning time. And the beautiful gopis have lotus eyes. And they've begun in the early morning their morning duties. What are they doing? Udgayati nam. They're singing about Sri Krishna. Dagnascha nirmantana shabdamishvito. And they've put their churning sticks in yogurt, and they're churning the yogurt to make butter and singing the glories of Sri Krishna. And this sound of the churning and the sound of the gopis singing in the early morning in Braj, in Nandagan, that sound is spreading everywhere and destroying all inauspiciousness in every direction. You know, this is from when Uddhav came to Braja. And sometimes Yoga Maya showed him the Prakat Lila. And he saw everyone was crying. No one was cooking. There were cobwebs on the stove. And then sometimes Yoga Maya would show him the Nitya Lila, the Aprakat Lila. And he saw, Braj was full of life. Everyone was happy. Gopis are singing. All are doing their duties in the morning time. So, this is a smaran. But this is not that smaran anga of bhakti. That is the sublimate of the Archan, form of Archan. So actually in Raganuga Bhakti, it is said that smaran is a mukhyanga. Vishnu Thakur in Raghavatma Chandrika, he explains that smaran is mukhyanga. Smaran is the main limb of Raganuga Bhakti. But he gives some conditions. The condition is that this smaran is kirtan adhin. Kirtan adhin. It's under the control of kirtan. It's not separate from kirtan. Not that sometimes you do kirtan and sometimes you do smaran. Or even not that you do kirtan and while one part of your mind is doing kirtan, another part of mind is speculating. But rather, the smaran which awakens from Nam Prabhu himself. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. The Nam is Rasa Vigraha. So everything is there in Nam for those who are chanting Niraparad without offense. And for those who are chanting with offense, it doesn't matter how they try to do smaran, it will not lead to the realization because they're making Namaparad. Someone may say, no, this is not correct. If I don't do smaran by force when I chant the holy name, then the holy name will not give the result. How can the holy name awaken smaran by itself? So that is tadatavado harinam nikalpanam. To consider the glories of the holy name are exaggerated in scripture. Or they are imagination. These are actually the glories of the holy name. Nam Prabhu has that power. So, Srila Vishwanath Thakur, in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there he said, Shrinvata sradaya nityam grinatascha swachaistitam kalena nati dirgena bhagavan vishate ridhi. The meaning is, those persons who are listening to Harikatha and taking it very seriously, daily, again and again, and repeating what they have heard, then kalena nati dirgena, not in a long time. Ati dirga means a long time. So nati dirga, not in a long time, but in a short time, then Bhagavan Vishate Ridhi, Bhagavan Sri Krishna will enter and make his appearance in the heart. So Vishwanath Thakur in his commentary, Sarata Darshini, on this verse, he said, Sopi Smarana Prayatnat Sravana Kirtanavato Bhaktasya Navasyaka. For those devotees who are absorbed in hearing and chanting, they don't have to make the prayatna, effort, for smaran. That's the meaning of the verse. So Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur would always quote this verse and this commentary of Vishwanath Thakur, that the smaran which is coming from the spot dharma of Harinam, this is pure Ragamarg. And the smaran which is a creation of the contaminated mind. If mind is pure, when one chants the name, there will be spurti. If the spurti is not coming, the mind is not pure. So Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur explained that if one's bhajan is going on, following the spot dharma, the spurti which is coming from holy name, then this is pure bhajan. If one's practice is not coming from the spurti of holy name, swameva spuratyadha, then this is imitation of bhajan. This is called pautalikata. If there's a doll, if you go to a shop, they're selling clothes. So in the window of the shop, there you can find some mannequins are there. Dolls. They're called putalika. Putalika. So pautalikata, they are not real humans. They're imitation of humans. So pautalikata means the imitation of bhajan. So real bhajan depends on this pota dharma, and the pautalikata, imitation of bhajan, is the coming from the contaminated material mind. So that pautalikata, the imitation of bhajan, that is called the prakrit sahajiya. Because the gopis' prem is sahaj. Sahaja gopir prem nahi prakrit kam. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the prem of gopis is sahaj. That means it's natural. It is spontaneous. Nahi prakrit kam. It is not prakrit, it is not material. But if one is trying to follow that which is aprakrit, using the prakrit ingredients of the contaminated mind, and thinking that is a sahaj natural, that is called prakrita sahaj. It's not an insult. Don't misunderstand. This is a technical term. It doesn't mean, this person, he is not sincere, or this person is dressing up like a gopi. This person is wearing a nose ring and putting on sindoor and doing sakibeki. It doesn't mean any of these things. It's not a accusation. It is not a insult like that. Only it's a technical term for the person who understands Shastra according to Sadharan Ruti Briti. And therefore, though he thinks he understands everything, but he understands nothing. So, it's necessary, first of all, give a full energy in the mission of Gurudev. Our Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared in this world. He revealed Navadvip Dham. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur engaged everyone in the performance of Navadvip Dham Parikrama, Brajmandal Parikrama, and so on. And each of our acharyas, they've continued this. This is the Mano Bhishta Seva of our acharyas. Understand? My Gurudev never said, and now I'm 85 years old, no need to do this anymore. I'm so advanced. No, every year of his life to the end, he was doing Mano Bhishta Seva of his acharyas. He cannot stop. Revealing the holy places. Bhakti Grantha Pranayan. These are the missions Mahaprabhu has entrusted the Goswamis. So we have to become fully connected in the service, Mano Bhishta Seva of Gurudev. When all the senses are saturated, then one becomes bhajan urjita. One becomes niraparad, free from any offenses, and then chanting the holy name. Taram madhye sarva shesta nama sankirtan niraparad nam laile pai premadan. Krishna Nama Mahamantra Ace Tosvabhav. Ye Jape Tarak Krishna Upajay Bhav. Mahaprabhu's Guru told him, this is the nature of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If someone just repeats it, the Bhav will manifest in the heart. But the condition is there. One should be a niraparad and a seva parayana. Then everything will come. Gradually realization, Nam, Rup, Gun, Parikar. Among those parikars, then your Swarup is also there. Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, Atasi Krishna Nabadi Nabavat Gremendre Sevan Mukhi Jivado Swayam Evas Pratyada. The name manifests, Nam, Rup, Gun, Parikar, and among the parikars, your Swarup will be there. And you realize it. And so then Parikar, then Seva, and then from Yogapit Seva, the Nitya Seva comes, Lila, all the Lilas. So this is the process of bhajan. You know that when Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu tried to kill him, but he was not afraid. And Lord Nrsimhadev came and protected him and killed Hiranyakashipu. Then Lord Nrsimhadev, he wanted to give benedictions to Prahlad Maharaj. take a benediction. He said, my Lord, I am not a businessman. I am not a merchant that I served you to get anything for myself. I don't want anything. But one thing is there. Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe kamadi kamam anuya prapapant prasangat kritvatmasat surashina bhagavan grihita soham katam nu visrijeta vabritya sevam. He said, oh my Lord, I was associating with the worldly minded persons, with materialistically minded persons. Asatsang. Asatsang. Asatsang is not only the regular people, also wearing tilak, and it can also be asatsang. He said, I was associating with worldly persons, and by this I was taken into the flow of the deep pit full of poisonous snakes. Kama bikamam. Like poisonous snakes, my material desires were attacking me one after another. But prapatam prasangat, by the causeless mercy of my Gurudev, Narad Muni, he gave me shelter. And kritvatmasat. This is so beautiful. Kritvatmasat means Surashina, Sura Rishi, the Rishi among the Devatas, Deva Rishi, Devarshi Narad. Devarshi Narad Kritvatmasat, which means he made me Atmasat. Shakti Buddhihin Amiyati Din Koromore Atmasat. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya. He said, oh Gurudev, I have no Shakti, have no intelligence. Be merciful to me and Koromore Atma, make me Atmasat. What does it mean? Who is a Gaudiya Vaishnava? 18 Thakur Gaudiyaki Koryachin Atmasat. 18 Chinya Charana Bandhan. Tenamoranat. The definition of a Gaudiya Vaishnava is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. A Gaudiya Vaishnava is a person whom Govinda, Gopinath and Madan Mohan, these three Thakurs, the predominating deities of Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan, they have Koromore Atmasat. They have accepted me, they have incorporated me into their eternal reality. I become a part and parcel of them. Kritatmasat. Atmasat means that, oh Gurudev, I have no independence from you. My soul belongs to you. I exist only to give happiness to you. Make me one with you. My heart and your heart, make them one. So that is called Atmasat. So here, Sri Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Kritu Atmas, what can he do? Narad, though I was fallen and going in the wrong direction, bitten by the snakes of many material desires, due to bad association. But Narad Muni was so merciful, Kritatmasat. He incorporated me and made me a part of himself. Srila Vishwanath Thakur in the Tika, he explains, Kritatmasat means, Prahlad said, Narad Muni made me a part of himself. And this is a fact. Why? Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabis Tabiya Eva Nija Rupataya Kalabi. Radhika is Krishna's own Ladini Shakti. And each gopi is Radhika's expansion, Kala. Nija Rupataya Kalabi. From Radhika has come Astasakis. Rupamanjari, and from Rupamanjaris come Astamanjaris. And from the Astamanjaris then the other Manjaris have come. So our eternal spiritual identity, our Siddhadeya, is the expansion part of the bhav of our Gurudev. Understand? So Kritatmasat, Guru makes us a part of himself in the eternal Leela of Radha and Krishna. There is no other way to attain it. Any type of swatantra, cheshta, independent endeavor will not produce any results. Only Shakti Buddhihin, Amihatidin, Koromore, Atmasat. Gurudev, make me a part of yourself. Incorporate me into your divine seva at the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. This is the process to enter into bhajan. Now, it was the introduction. Now we come to the subject. Subject this evening is what? Do you remember? Bhāvollāsa. It's a very interesting subject. Now I believe there's a new ashram in Vrindavan, right, called Bhāvollāsa. No?
Shadow.
What does Bhāvollāsa mean? The word ullas means giving prominence to any object by comparison. In other words, if there are two things and there is ullas, that means one of those things has become more than the other one. Understand? This is the Sanskrit definition of ullas. One thing has become more than another. So in this phrase, Bhāvollāsa, what are those two things and which one has become more and why? So Rupa Goswami Pad, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he gives very beautiful explanation. Sanchari syat samonava Krishna ratya suridrati adika pushyamana ched Bhāvollāsa itiriyate. First he said, there is such a thing called the two things here. One is Krishna rati, that is the staiba of Madhurati, love for Krishna. And the other one is Suridrati, that means the love for a friend. So among the Sakhis and among the Sakhis and Radharani, all the gopis, they have friendship with each other. So that's called Suridrati. Whether it's Radhika's love for Lalita or Lalita's love for Radhika, or Lalita's love for Vishaka or Vishaka's love for Rupa Manjari, whatever it is. The love between friends is called Suridrati. Let's give it some example, general example of Suridrati, but very special, in Shrimati Radharani. Shukadev Goswami describes in the Rasa Leela. So beautiful. Sri Krishna disappeared from the Rasa Leela along with Radhika only. Anaya radito nunam Bhagavan Hari Ishvara. Yanno vihaya govinda prito yam anayatraha. All gopis were going everywhere and in the madness of love searching for Sri Krishna. But Krishna was alone with Radhika. Where? Shringarvat. And there Sri Krishna was decorating the hair of Shrimati Radhika. So then, Radha Krishna, they got up and they began to walk through the forest. Shukadev Goswami Pad says, Tato gatva vanuddesham dripta keshamam abarbit na parayeham chalitum nayamam yatrate manaha. The meaning is, Radha Krishna got up and Krishna, he was worried that other gopis will come and see I am alone with Radhika and then they'll all become jealous and go against her. So Krishna wanted to leave that place just in case the other Sakhis and other gopis will come and find them there. So Sri Krishna said, oh, let's go to this forest, it's very beautiful here. Tato gatva venuddasham. They began to go, but then dripta keshavam abravit. Radharani became dripta. She was so full of the Saubhagyonmat, the pride. some pride had come. How fortunate I am. Krishna left everyone only to serve me. So then Radhika said to Krishna, Na parayam chalitum. I am unable to move any further. Because after Nikunja Lila, then this sanchari bhav comes, the slackness of the limbs. So she's very shitil. Glani, the exhaustion. So she said, I cannot go any further. Naya mam yatta temana. You can take me wherever you want to go. Actually, this verse is full of the surid rati. She was thinking, oh, I am ungrateful. My Sakhis have given their life to me completely in serving me. And I've spent this time alone with Krishna and they've missed everything. If I can delay Krishna here for some time, soon my Sakhis will come and then my Sakhis can also relish this pastime. So because Radhika was thinking in this way, she said this, Na chalitam, na parayam chalitam. I cannot go any further. It was she has love for Krishna and it's being nourished by the surid rati, the love for Lalita and Vishaka and others. She's also missing them and wants to share. She's so udhar. She wants to share the happiness of Krishna seva with them. So this is an example of surid rati in Radhika. We'll give another example of surid rati. It is in Ujjwal Nilamani. Shaila Murni Harina Biharanti Romur Kudmala Krambita Murti. Once, Radhika and Krishna were here, on the top of Giraj Govardhan. They were walking, singing together, talking together, experiencing so much bliss. Srimati Radhika's hairs were standing on end. She was trembling in such ecstasy. But at that time, Lalita was nearby, and Lalita's hair was somewhat falling on her face. And though she was enjoying the beautiful Bihar, Ban Bihar here at Govardhan with Sri Krishna, Radhika turned to Lalita and very lovingly wiped her face. This is example, Surit Rati. She's fully in love with Krishna, but she has love for a friend. And wiping the face of Lalita is nourishing her love for Krishna. Because that's the relationship. So, Surid Rati is a sanchari. So, in the definition of Bhāvollāsa, it starts with this. Sanchari syat samonava Krishna ratya Surid Rati. That means that if the love for the friend, Surid Rati, is samona, samauna, the same or less than Krishna Rati, love for Krishna, then that love is called a sanchari bhav. It's called a sanchari bhav. Surid Rati is called a sanchari bhav. Now, this is a very fine and beautiful point. Though Bhāvollāsa Rati is the Manjari Sthayi bhav, it means their Sthayi bhav is to Krishna, but with the love for Krishna has become sankuchit. That is, it has withdrawn itself somewhat and it is boosting their love for Radhika, their Surid Rati. So the Surid Rati has become ulas comparatively in a higher position. Like this. But, so that together, that is the description of the Sthayi bhav of Manjaris. But we cannot say that the love for Radhika itself is the Sthayi bhav. Understand? You cannot say that the love for Radhika is the Sthayi bhav. There are so many reasons for this. In other sampradaya, in Nimbaka sampradaya, in Radha Vallabha, they can say it. Because for them, Radha Tattva is the supreme Tattva, but this is not Gaudiya Siddhanta. Gaudiya Siddhanta is Vadanti Tattva Vidas Tattvam Yad Gama Tattvam. Krishna is the Param Tattva, Radhika is his Shakti. And when we go from metaphysics into Rasa Tattva, then Akhila Rasamrita Murti Prasimara Ruchi Ruda Taraka Pali. Krishna is the Raso Vaisaha. He is the rati for Krishna is the foundation of all rasa. This is very important to understand. Otherwise, everything will become spoiled. So Rupa Goswami, gives the definition of the Sthayi Bhav. He said, Krishna Vishayini Rati. The Sthayi Bhav always has Krishna as its object. Sthayi Bhav. Atyantik Sthayi Bhav. There are different types of Sthayi Bhav. We'll explain later. The Atyantik Sthayi Bhav always has Krishna as its object. This is very important. Why? Because when the Sthayi Bhav is nourished by the other ingredients of rasa, Vibhav, Anubhav, Satvika Bhav, Vyabhachari Bhav, then it turns into rasa. So for example, Madhurati, let's go back a little bit. Dasyarati. If you have Dasyarati to Krishna, when it's nourished by the other ingredients, it turns into Dasya Rasa. Right? So Dasyarasi turns into Dasyarati. If you have Sakyarati, friendship to Krishna, if it's nourished by the other ingredients, it turns into Sakyarasa. If you have Vatsalya Rati, it will turn into Vatsalya Rasa. If you have Madhurati to Krishna, and Madhurati is defined by that rati which leads to different types of sambhog in the form of glancing, hearing, speaking, touching, playing. When that Madhurati, love for Krishna, is nourished by the other ingredients, then it turns into Madhurya Rasa. Right? So if this Sthayi Bhav is to a Sakhi, then that will be a Surid Rati, like a Sakya, friendship. When it's nourished, what will it turn into? It will not be Madhurya Rasa even. So you cannot take away that Krishna Rati is not the Atyantik Sthayi Bhav. You can, in other sampradayas they do it, let it be. But not in Rupa Goswami's teaching, Rupanuga Siddhanta. So, now there's another reason why the Surid Rati, the love for the friend, cannot be the Sthayi Bhav. Another reason. So Vishnu Thakur, he explains, Surid Rati, see Krishna Rati mulakatvat tatposhanat cha. Surid Rati is Krishna Rati mulatva. It's based on Krishna Rati. Unless Krishna Rati is there, the Sthayi Bhav to Krishna, there is no Surid Rati. So this point is very profound, and we touched upon it. We touched the subject a little bit earlier in this festival. What is that? Remember, Radhika and Chandravali, they have equal amount of vinayata, equal amount of politeness and gentleness and humility. They have vinayata, politeness and gentleness. They have equal amount. But the pariman, that means the extent of Radhika's love is much greater. So because she has more love, her prem does nigirna. It swallows her gentleness and politeness. And so she can become very bold and quarrelsome and contrary. Whereas the extent of Chandravali's love is not so great that it is there, but her vinayata is still peeping out. It's still always showing. This is why Chandravali is very more soft and gentle. So Radhika's gentleness, Chandravali's gentleness is same level, but Radhika's, the pariman, the extent of her prem is so much, it just swallows that and she becomes very contrary, tempestuous, impetuous, temperamental. And this is more charming, much more charming, fascinating, and astonishing for Sri Krishna. So now what happens? Because of the different pariman, degree of love, so when they're mixed with the vinayata, it makes the prem go into two jatis, two types. And so Chandravali's prem becomes Grita Sneha, Radhika's prem becomes the Madhu Sneha. This Grita Sneha can grow and grow and grow and grow up to Rudra Bhav, but not more than that. But because the basis of the prem in Radhika's group is the Madhu Sneha, it can go up to Adi Rudra Bhav. So they go the levels beyond anyone in Chandravali's group or any other group. Only Radhika's group can go from Ruddha to Adiruddha. And Shamala, the friendly group, they cannot, but they can. If they're associating in a friendly way with Radhika's group, at that time, by their association, they can also touch the Adiruddha as well. Otherwise, it cannot be found. So Rupa Goswami Pad said, Praya Radhika Yutta. It is generally found in Radhika's, that means it's only in Radhika's group, but generally it's there because there's some exception. If Shamala's group will associate with them, then by that association they can be uplifted and go touch Adiruddha also. Okay, so what are we discussing here? That the jati, the type of prem, depends on the relationship with the pariman and the vinayata. So Radhika's type of prem and Chandravali's type of prem it's different. Now what happens is, gopis in Vrindavan who have the same type of prem associate with each other. Right? Sajatayashaye snigde sadhusanga swato bare. On the day the gopis had to leave their villages, their parents' home, and then move to their in-laws' house, they couldn't tolerate it. How can Radhika leave Varsana and go to Yavat and stay with another family? And all gopis felt like this. So on that morning, they ran away from home. And they came on the bank of Jamuna at Kaliya Ghat, at Kaliya Daha. And they wanted to drown themselves in the Jamuna. So on that day, various gopis who had Sajataya Shayesdigde, who had the same mood, they held hands with each other. And they, holding hands, they said, Radhika said, today, may we who have become Sakis on this day give up our life together with a strong desire that we will never associate with any other man, we will only meet with Sri Krishna. So on that moment when all the gopis were about to commit suicide because they didn't want to go to the in-laws' house, that's when the strong Sakhi Bhav was established. Padma, Shaibya, they became in the groups, Chandravali's group and Radhika's group, Lalita Vishaka and everything. But what was the deciding factor why which gopi goes to which Yuteshwari? What is the cause of their friendship? The cause of their friendship is the jati of the prem, the type of prem that they have. Those who have full madhu sneha, they become friends with Radhika and they all become a group of friends. Those who have full grita sneha, they all become friends with Chandravali, Padma, Shaibya. And those who have mixed little more madhu sneha than grita sneha, they go with the Shamala's group, like this. So in this way, the groups come about. And they have surid rati, friendship with each other. So in this way, Vishwanath Thakur is saying, surid ratahe Krishna rati mulatva. That friendship between the Sakhis is mulatva. It's based on what type of love they have for Krishna. And this is why you cannot say that the surid bhav is the sthayi bhav. Because the surid bhav only exists because underneath it, there's a rati mula. It is Krishna rati mula. It's based on Krishna rati. Is that clear? Raise your hand if you understand. Okay. So my explanation could not have been so bad. I know it's not good, not perfect, but I'm trying to communicate some deep ideas of Rupa Goswami Pad. If you can understand something, then today my breathing was worthwhile. Otherwise, no need to breathe. No need to stay alive. So, now, this is a very interesting point. What is the relationship between a sthayi bhav? We've established sthayi bhav is Krishna rati, love for Krishna, and the love for a friend is a sanchari bhav. What is the relationship? Nimajantem umajjantam. A sanchari bhav is like a wave in the ocean of the sthayi bhav. Right? So the Krishna rati, love for Krishna, is an ocean, and sanchari bhavs are waves. That means they're not permanent. They're not permanent. They rise up and they go back down again, depending on the circumstances. So now a problem comes. Because the love of Manjari for Radhika is in a permanent position. higher than their Krishna rati, right? Another problem comes here is that if there's a wave in the ocean, can a wave become bigger than the ocean? These are some of the problems that, right? Then you analyze very minutely. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, then this question comes. If the Krishna rati is ocean, and love for the friend Surid rati, it can be less, or it can be equal, but for manjaris it's more. How can the wave be bigger than the ocean? This question has to be answered. Now, the relationship between the love for Krishna, the Sthayi Bhav, and the Surid rati, that is, rati and the Surid rati, the Sanchari Bhav, is that a Sanchari Bhav always nourishes the main love. So Radhika's love for her friends nourishes her love for Krishna. Lalita's love for Radhika nourishes her love for Krishna. So that is called the Pushamana. 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 The love for Krishna, Pushamana, is being, it's a passive, it's being nourished. The Sanchari Bhav is the Poshak, it's doing the nourishment. And Krishna, love for Krishna is Poshamana, it's being nourished. Now, the difference is with the Manjaris. That is that their love for Radhika is greater than their love for Krishna. So, Adhikam Pushamana Chet. Adhika means the love for Radhika is more. And now, instead of Krishna rati being Pushamana, being nourished, the Krishna rati is nourishing the love for Radhika. The love for Radhika is Pushamana. Adhika Pushamana Chet. If the love for Radhika is more than love for Krishna, and that love for Radhika is nourishing, the love for Krishna is nourishing the love for Radhika, Bhāvollāsa itiriyate, then it's called Bhāvollāsa. Understand? So we've covered this topic. What is rati, love for Krishna? What is Surid rati, the love for the friend? How for all the Sakhis and for Radhika in relation with her Sakhis, this love for Krishna is the basis of the friendship, and the friendship is nourishing love for Krishna, but for the Manjaris, it's flipped the other way around. The love for Krishna is nourishing the love for Radharani. How does that happen? The question comes, how can the wave be bigger than the ocean? Very profound mystery. Oh, just to complete this commentary, Vishwanath Thakur, when Vishwanath Thakur is describing the difference that for the Sakhis and Radhika, the love for the friend is nourishing Krishna rati, but for the Manjaris it's the other way around. He says there, na tasya sancharitvam, na pitasya stayitvam hi iti bhavaha. It means that, therefore, this love for Radharani, na sancharitvam, it doesn't have the quality of a Sanchari Bhav. Sancharitva means Sanchari Bhavness. It's a Sanchari Bhav, but it doesn't have Sanchari Bhavness for two reasons. One, instead of nourishing, it's being nourished. And two, it's not temporary. It doesn't come and go. It's always there. That love for Radharani always, every moment. Ananya Sri Radha Padat Kamaladasya Ikarasadi Hare Range Sangam Sapana Samaye Napi Dadadi Balat Krishna Kurba Bidi Sakup Apya Charatika Pudasro Mevesho Mamatma Chahasati Mamatmaiva Hasati. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur said, oh, those kinkaris, the maidservants of Radhika, Ananya Sri Radha, they're one-pointed in their love to Radhika, in their service to Radhika. And they relish Ras in that service in such a way that Hare Ange Sangam Sapane Samayena Pitadati. At no time do they ever desire to enjoy pastimes directly with Krishna themselves. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen sometimes, but they never desire themselves to meet with Krishna. Sapane means even in their dreams, they don't meet with Krishna, try to meet with Krishna, even in their dreams. And therefore, Balat Krishna, Kurpa, Saka, Bidi, Kamapya, Charitika. If Krishna will come and grab a manjari by her choli, by her upper cloth and pulling, and it's tearing. At that time, that manjari is saying, Ma, no. And trying to hide behind Radharani, Mamatma Chahasati, and Radharani is laughing so much. It gives so much happiness when Krishna is teasing the manjaris and they come and take her shelter. So, this is a permanent. So, na sancharitvam, it doesn't have exactly the sanchariness for two reasons, but here, this is very important. Vishnu tells us, napi tasya stayitvam. It also doesn't have the quality of stayibhav. Right? Written right there. I remember when I first learned this. I was in airport. I spent so many hours. If you add them all up, I think it becomes weeks and months. And Brajanath Prabhu was there also. We always had to sit in the airport for hours waiting for the plane to go to the next place, the next place, the next place. Flying 20 times, 30 times a year. So when I was in the airport, I would try to take some advantage of that and come to Gurudev with Ujjwal Nilamani. Say, Gurudev, what is this? What is this? So I was confused. I said, Gurudev, is this the Bhāvollāsa? Is this Surid Rati of the Manjaris? What is it? Is it a Sanchari or is it a Sthaibhav? And then Gurudev, he quoted this. He said, Na tasya sancharitvam, na pitasya sthaitvam. He said, he didn't say where. He said, oh, somewhere. Vishwanath Thakur has said, not stayitva, not sancharitva. Then as I continued to study, then oh yes, what Gurudev has said, this is directly from the heart of Vishwanath Thakur. Perfect Siddhanta. Directly from the heart of Vishwanath Thakur. So, still there are some loose ends which are not tied up here. So let's come and see this point. The Sthaibhav, which is always there, which is the foundation of everything, is called Atyantik. The Atyantik Sthaibhav. Why? Because that's not the only type of Sthaibhav. Because there are 5 rasas, 5 mukhya rasas, but there are also 7 Gauna rasas. Hasya, Bhuta, Virya, Karuna, Rodha, Vibhatsa, Bhayanaka. 7 secondary rasas, Hasya, comedy, Adbhut, astonishment, Hasya, Bhuta, Virya, chivalry, Karuna, pathos, the pathetic mood, compassion, Rodra, anger, Vibhats, disgust, and Bhai, fear. So these are the 7 secondary rasas. You know, nothing can become a rasa unless it has a sthaibhav. So how can there be such a thing as hasyaras? How can there be such a thing as the viraras? What will act as the sthaibhav? Without a sthaibhav, you cannot have a rasa. There has to be a sthaibhav to be nourished by vibhav, anubhav, sattva, and then it will turn into a rasa. So, in the Rupa Goswami has described very beautifully that Bharat Muni said there are 8 rasas. Bharat Muni said there are 8 rasas. Hasad, Bhuta, Vira, Karuna, Rodha, Vibhatsa, Bhayanaka, that's 7. And the 8th one is rati, love. Love is one type of rasa. And then what Rupa Goswami did was, he saw that in the Puranas, in the Agni Purana, there Srila Vyasadeva has said, Vastutastu Puranado Panchadaiva Vilokyate. Rupa Goswami is saying, it is seen in the Puranas that Vyasadeva says that there are 5 rasas. So now we have a problem. Bharat Muni, the author of Natya Shastra, said there's 8 rasas. And Vyasadeva in the Agni Purana has said that there are 5 rasas. Rupa Goswami is so brilliant. He reconciles everything. What he did was, those 5 rasas, he divided rati or love, which is 1, into 5, and called those are the 5 mukhya rasas, main rasas. And then the 7 of Bharat Munis which were left over, these are the 7 secondary rasas. So in this way, Srila Rupa Goswami, he gave respect to Bharat Muni. On the other hand, he gave complete respect to Vyasadeva. You cannot disrespect the Purva Acharyas. Yankali Rupa Sharanana Dharata Tanbraja Prema. If Rupa Goswami had not appeared in this world, how would we know these things? So, giving respect to everyone, he divided rati love into 5, became 5 mukhya, and then he divided, then the other 7 became the 7 secondary rasas. So, now the Puranas say that those 7 secondary rasas are actually Sanchari Bhavs. But Rupa Goswami did not include them among 33 Sanchari Bhavs. He kept them as the secondary, the Gona Ratis. He kept them as the Gona Ratis. But really, they are Sanchari Bhavs. But why do they have a special category? And the reason is this. When those 33 Sanchari Bhavs, beginning with Nirved, Vishad, Glani, Dainya, Tras, Mada, Vitarka, Mati, Harsha, Alasya, all these 33 Sanchari Bhavs, they come and they go, but they don't leave a sanskar. They don't leave a samskar behind. But we can take these 7 Sanchari Bhavs, not included in them, that have been told to become ras by Bharat Muni. Rupa Goswami has kept them in in another position, and said they can become Gonaratis, and they appear and disappear, like comedy can appear and disappear. Heroism can appear and disappear. But the difference is that when these appear, when they disappear, they leave a sanskar behind. You see? So for example, Madhu Mangal, he's always making the hasyaras, joking everywhere. But at that time, when the joking's not going on, the samskar of the joking stays with him. So as soon as there's a chance, he'll make another joke. Because everyone acts according to their samskars, right? Svabhavastu prabhatate. Actually, when you're going to Rasa Tattva, then even Bhagavad Gita. As Krishna said, Svabhavastu prabhatate. Everyone is under the control of their samskars. So like this. So now, though Rupa Goswami, he does not explain how the Suridrati can become more, how the wave can become more than the ocean, or how it can turn into rasa. He doesn't explain it openly, but the premises for understanding it are there earlier in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So for example, he explains Hasyarati, how Hasyarati turns into Hasyaras. Let us say Madhu Mangal makes a joke. So the Sakas, they have Sakyaras. But when Madhu Mangal makes a joke, then this Sanchari Bhav spreads. It's not just a wave that rises up, that can just rising up and mixing with others, or Sandhi or but the feeling of comedy, the joy, the fun of the moment spreads, and it pervades the Mukhya-rati of Sakyaras. In other words, their whole friendship becomes vyapt. It becomes vyapt, completely pervaded with the jolly, comical mood, the comedic mood. So here the question comes, how could a Sanchari Bhav become more than the Sthayi Bhav if that feeling will completely pervade the Sthayi Bhav? And the sthayi bhav is the parata rati. It is called, Rupa Goswami calls it sankuchad atmana. Sankuch means to become a little constricted, little bit withdrawn. So when the main sthayi bhav withdraws itself a little and it becomes completely pervaded by hasya, the fun of the moment, the joke, pervades it, then that hasya takes a greater position and it's being boosted. So the sthayi bhav, the love for Krishna is there, sakyaras, and hasya has pervaded it, and the sakya has become sankoch, little bit withdrawn and boosting, and so it has become more. So that boosting, Rupa Goswami calls that the potion. In other words, the hasya is called pusyamana. So knowing that this is the meaning of pusyamana, then when you come to the definition of the Bhāvollāsa, what does it say? Adhikam pusyamana chat. So the actual way in which the love for Radhika becomes more than love for Krishna means that that love for Radhika completely pervades the love for Krishna. And the love for Krishna becomes sankoch, little withdrawn, and boosts it, and it becomes in the prominent position. But it stays there always, forever. So, in the definition of Bhāvollāsa in the commentary, Vishnu Thakur on Jiva Goswami, they say, sancharitvapi. Even though the Suridrati, it remains a sanchari bhav. It remains a sanchari bhav. Because it's now in this special position where it does not exactly have the stayitva or sancharitva, so it has to be given a special name because of its Vaishishthya. And that special name is Bhāvollāsa. Bhāvollāsa. It's so beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. So, don't think the Manjaris, they love Radhika, but they don't love Krishna. Or they just love Radhika and just love for Krishna is nourishing. No, that would not even be Madhurya Rasa. It would not even be the romantic mood. It would be Sakyaras. They have love for Krishna in the romantic mood. But they are so enamored with the greatness and the beauty of Radharani. The love of Radhika has overwhelmed them, and their love for Radhika is completely vyapt. The Krishna rati is vyapt, completely pervaded. There's not one part of their love for Krishna which is not overwhelmed with and pervaded by their love for Radhika. And that has come in the superior position. And that is called Bhāvollāsa. Bhāvollāsa. So, yes, of course.
How do you reconcile this or connect this with tattva?
That is a very big subject, very big. I cannot touch it today because I'm just telling some theory now. I want to complete our discussion this evening with an illustration, some pastimes to illustrate. But in essence, I can say that within Tat Bhav Ichamai, one speciality within that is Bhāvollāsa rati. Tat Bhav Ichamai is a broader category, and Bhāvollāsa, yes, it's Tat Bhav Ichamai, but it's because some gopis are Tat Bhav Ichamai, but not Bhāvollāsa. But every gopi who has Bhāvollāsa is Tat Bhav Ichamai. Understand? Yeah, like that. Like every Rupanuga is Raganuga, but not every Raganuga is Rupanuga. So we can say, in the Gurudev used to say that. So similarly, we can say every gopi, that means Manjari, who has Bhāvollāsa rati is Tat Bhav Ichamai. But not every gopi who is Tat Bhav Ichamai has Bhāvollāsa. Like this. On another day, in another festival, that question is very fascinating. Now, it's a little confusing. Rupa Goswami has used this word Surid Rati. So Rati is a word that we use for sthayi bhav. So why does he use the word Surid Rati for a sanchari bhav? Why? So Rupa Goswami's use of words is interesting and it needs some explanation. So Jiva Goswami Pada and Vishnu Thakur have given the explanation. Let us say Hasya Rati. Hasya rati is the foundation of Hasya Rasa. But as we discuss, Hasya is really a Sanchari Bhav, but in a special category because it leaves a samskar. So if it's a Sanchari, why is it called Hasarati? Why? So Vishnu Thakur gives two examples. Hasrati, this is a samas, that means a compound word. When two words are put together, it's a compound. And that compound, Vaishnavas have so much joy with this. Because in any compound, you can interpret it in many, many different ways. Like Gopinath. You can say Gopinath means the Nath, the Lord of the Gopis. Otherwise, you can take it as whose Lord is a Gopi. Like this. So these compounds, you can take them in many different ways because there's Dvandva Samas, Kama Darai Samas, Tatpurush Samas. There's 6 types of Tatpurush Samas. There's the Bahubrihi Samas. So when a compound comes, depending on how you take the compound, so many meanings can come out. So Vishnu Thakur gives an example for Hasrati. Is Has really a Rati? He said no. No. It is exactly like the compound Purusha Vyagra. If you say, my Indupad, he's Purusha Vyagra. Purush means a man, and Vyagra means a tiger. So what does Purusha Vyagra mean? Does it mean a man who's like a tiger or a tiger who's like a man? This is the question. Does it mean a tiger who puts on clothes and walks on 2 legs? No, no. Purusha Vyagra, actually the thing is the first thing, the Purush. It's a Purush who is like a tiger. So in the same way, Hasya Rati means it's Has. It's the mood of comedy, it's laughter that is acting like a Rati. It's not a Rati, but it's acting like that. You see? So Surid Rati is a Sanchari Bhav. Is it a Sthayi Bhav? No. It is a friendship, which is acting like a Sthayi Bhav. Or you can take it the other way around. Vishnu Thakur gives another example. He says, it is like Shaka Partiva. Shaka means vegetables, especially different types of spinach. So Shaka and Partiva means a king. So what does Shaka Partiva mean? Does it mean it's a vegetable sitting on a throne with a crown? Vegetable king. Does it mean vegetable king? Ruling over his subject vegetables? No. So Shaka Partiva means Shaka Bhoji Partiva. That means a king, the Shaka vegetable Bhoji, one who enjoys Partiva. The king who enjoys vegetables. So here in this type of samas, the main thing is the second word. Right? Shaka Partiva. The main thing is the king, not the vegetable. The main thing is the king. So here, you can also take Hasrati in that way as well. So that means, Hasrati means a Rati, that's the Sthayi Bhav, that took up the mood of Has. Understand? A Sthayi Bhav, a Rati, that took up the mood of Has. It became pervaded by Has, like that. So in this way, we can understand the vocabulary of Rupa Goswami. Actually, if Vishnu Thakur had not incarnated in this world and explained these things, we would not understand Rupa Goswami's explanation. There would be some doubt. And actually, this is why our Gurudev used to say that Vishnu Thakur, he's the Prakash of Rupa Goswami himself. That Rupa Goswami has expanded in the form of Vishnu Thakur as in a Prakash Roop, that is Vinod Manjari. To give the explanation and clear that there's no doubt and no misunderstanding of the teaching of Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. Now, we come to the Manjaris. In the early morning, Sisi Radha Krishna, they're embracing in a beautiful Nikunj. Sleeping. Even they begin to awaken, but they want to go. They don't want to part. They don't want to leave each other. So that morning time is a very bittersweet. because there is meeting but bhavi-viraha. Bhavi-viraha means the anxiety of inevitable and impending separation. They're together, but they know the time has come now. And so that is Mangalartik, the bhava in Mangalartik. Very beautiful. At that time when Radha Krishna are in each other's embrace, the Manjaris, they have taken rest just outside in the courtyard of the Nikunj. They have rested only for a few moments. They were serving Radha Krishna even while they were sleeping. And then after some time, they've gone and lie down for a few moments. Suddenly, when any Manjari opens her eyes, the first thing she has is anxiety. Did I oversleep? Did I miss the chance for seva? And they look around. And then they see, oh, I'm not late. It's a big relief. First relief. And then that Manjari is waking up and going to Guru Rupa Manjari. Guru in Manjari form. And also touching feet. And also then that Manjari is waking up. Gradually all the Manjaris are waking up. And then taking their paraphernalia for this morning seva, early morning service of Radha Krishna, they approach the Kunj. At that time, how beautiful they are. Vishnu Thakur said, Tad vidyutujjati jayi prabhadaika reka vaidagyam eva kilamurti bheda-abheda-tattva yuteshvaritvam api samyag arochayatva dasyam ritabdim anusasyo anusasyo ajasyam asyaha. He's saying, Tad vidyut ujjati jayi prabhadaika reka. How can I express the beauty of these manjaris? If there's a lightning shining in the sky, it's so impressive, so beautiful. But for these manjaris, only, on the toes, you have some lines. The lines on the toes of these manjaris are more beautiful than a flash of lightning. So Kim Uta, this is a Kim Uta. If the lines on their toes are more beautiful than the flash of lightning, then what can we say about their lotus feet? Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. What can we say about her beautiful anga, her limbs, her beautiful face and smile? Vaidagda eva kilamurti bheda-abheda-tattva. And each manjari is a Vaidagda eva murti. They are the murti, that is the embodiment of Vaidagda. All types of arts, singing, dancing, decorating, poetry. And also Vaidagda means expertise. If there are many competing factors in a situation and it's very difficult to reconcile, they know how in a moment, by their words or by their activities, to bring everything into a harmonic position. So they have pratibha, presence of mind. They're very intelligent. So Vaidagdhyameva kilamurti bheda-abheda-tattva. And now here's a most beautiful and profound point. Each point is becoming more beautiful than the other. Now Srila Vishnu Thakur is saying, Yogeshvar ittam api samyag arochayatva. These manjaris are qualified to be Yuteshwaris. Imagine that. The manjaris are qualified to be Yuteshwari. A Yuteshwari means the heroine who has a big group of Sakhis and a big group of manjaris all serving her, and all those Sakhis and manjaris, they only live to make that heroine meet with Sri Krishna because she's the Atyantadika. In the group, she's Atyantadika. That means she's excessively more qualified than all the other gopis in the group. So each one of these manjaris is actually qualified to be a Yuteshwari, but samyaga rochayatva, they have no interest. They have no taste in that at all. Dasyam ritabdi manusasyo ajasramasya. They only want at every moment to experience the amrita, the nectar of Radhika's seva. Dasya.
backstage. That's what I want to say, backstage.
So, this is very amazing. The Rasik Vaishnavas, they can really taste it. Krishnadas Kaviraj gives a clue in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, Krishna prema ek apurva prabhav guru samulagu ke kuraye dasya bhav. Krishna prema, love for Sri Krishna. Krishna prema ek apurva has one unprecedented prabhav, power and influence. That is, Guru Sama Laguke. Whether in Vrindavan anyone is Guru Jan, senior to Krishna, Sama, equal to Krishna, like his friends, or Lagu, less than Krishna, like his servants, Raktak, Patrak, Chitrak. So everyone in Braj, whether they're in status more than Krishna, same as Krishna, or less than Krishna, Kurai Dasya Bhav. The Prem has this unprecedented quality. They feel the Dasya Bhav, mood of a servant. Then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he's giving some examples. You see, he wants to explain Brajagopis. He wants to explain the Manchapa, but he's doing it in such a subtle, uncovered way. He said, actually what I want to say should not be spoken. So I'll say it in such a way that the Rasik Vaishnavas, who are like cuckoo birds who taste the sweet blossoms of the mango tree, they will understand. And then those who are averse to Krishna Bhakti and Krishna Rasa, who are like camels chewing thorns and tasting their own blood, they will not understand anything. So this is what he's doing. So he gives some example. For example, when Lord Brahma stole the cows and boys, then Balaram, he didn't know that Krishna had become all the cows and boys. And almost 1 year later, he was looking and seeing everyone loves these boys like they love Krishna. And the cows are loving their calves like they love Krishna. What's going on? He was covered by Yoga Maya. And then when he realized, oh, they're all Krishna, then he said, my Prabhu has done it. My Prabhu. That means he came in Dasya Bhav. Why? Because he felt, I am Krishna's brother, I am Krishna's friend. We are everything for each other. But he did this and he didn't even tell me. He didn't tell me. He felt that Krishna had done something udasin. He'd been like a little indifferent to him. And because when you have love and the object of your love, if you feel they become indifferent to you, then it's devastating. And so the Sanchari Bhav of Dainya came, rose up. And Balaram said, my Prabhu, he has done this. This is an example Krishnadas Kaviraj gives. In Sakyaras, now we'll give another example. In Vatsalya Ras, he gives another example. When Uddhav came to Braja, and he told Nanda Maharaj, oh, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can you be separated from him? He is everywhere. It wasn't because Uddhav was insensitive. It wasn't because he did not have empathy for Nanda Maharaj's feeling or understand. He did not think Nanda Maharaj was in ignorance, not knowing that Krishna is God. Some people say it like that. He's thinking, Nanda Maharaj, he doesn't know. Let me tell him that Krishna is God. This wasn't what happened. Actually, Nanda Maharaj, in speaking about Krishna, his separation was going so high. He was about to give up his life. He would have passed away. So, Brachujjava Brajam Somya Pitruna Pratimava. Hey, Uddhav, go to Braj and pacify our parents. So, what Uddhav was doing was rasantar. He was saying something which was so completely against Vatsalya Ras that it would change the mood to save Nanda Maharaj's life. So at that time when he told Nanda Maharaj, Krishna is Supreme Lord and everything, then Nanda Maharaj said, Manaso Vritya Yasyo. Oh Uddhav, when Uddhav was leaving, oh Uddhav, may my mind always be in the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. May my tongue always engage in glorifying him. And may my body always engage in bowing down to your Lord, to your Ishvara. Not my Ishvara, your Ishvara. But still, a parent doesn't think my head should be engaged in bowing down. This is not the parent's mood. But what happened? Because Krishna had left and he was not coming back for so long, he felt, Krishna has become udasin. And just the feeling that Krishna is neglecting me, the Dainya Bhav came like a big wave, and Dasya appeared within Vatsalya. So it's not Dasya Rasa, it's still Vatsalya Rasa. But due to humility, some Dasya Bhav comes there. So therefore Krishna's Kaviraj is saying, Krishna Prem ek apurva prabhav guru samu laguke koroye Dasya Bhav. They don't change their sthayi bhav, they don't change it. They stay in the mood. That's why it's atyantik sthayi bhav. It's forever, it will not change. But still the feeling of servant comes in the state of extreme humility due to love. This much we should know. So now look at the Manjaris. The Manjaris, they are in Madhuras. They have Madhurati to Krishna in the romantic mood. But even Krishna is in Vrindavan. He has not left. Krishna is not neglecting. But seeing the Prem of Srimati Radhika, how great she is, they feel in comparison so unqualified that yutishvaritvam api samyag arochayatva. Vishnu Thakur says, even though the Manjaris are qualified to be Yuteshwaris with their own group of Sakis and with their own groups of millions of Sakis and Manjaris, but they don't want to be. They qualified, but they don't want to be. Because their Dainya Bhav, seeing the Prem of Radhika, is so deep, they're overwhelmed. Dasyam ritabdim anusasyo ajasram asya. They only want to take Dasya. This is Manjari Bhav. And this is why my Gurudev used to say, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given Siddha Pranali in Manjari Bhav. What is that? Trinadapi sunichena tororapi saishnuna amanena manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Those who appreciate Radhika to the highest degree. Where is Radhika and where am I? Though I am qualified to be a Yuteshwari, forget this. May my hands always be engaged in the service of Radhika's lotus feet. May my head always be at the lotus feet of Radhika. May my manobritis always be absorbed in Radhika. This is Manjari Bhav. This is Bhāvollāsa rati. I have to stop at some point, right? Okay, just one more verse. Just one more verse, because it's so much. You have to digest. Otherwise, you may have indigestion. So, actually, I already prepared for the next 2 festivals. Let me see. Okay. This thing. Because the Manjaris, they're so absorbed. Their love for Krishna is pervaded by their Surid Rati for Radhika. So, Radhika has Mahabhav. Yesterday we discussed the effect of Yavadasrai Vritti. Affecting. In Rudabhav, it affects whoever is close enough to see or hear. Yeah? Asan Janita Ridvilolan. But in Adirudabhav, then that Yavadasrai Vritti comes in the state called Brahmanda Kshobha Karita. Not only those who are close enough to see or hear, it disturbs the whole universe. Whole universe becomes disturbed. You know, Radharani, she said, Nadyasthadartha dupadari makunda gita avarta lakshita mano bhava bhagna vega alinga nasta gitam umi bujamarare grinanti pada yugalam kamalo bahara. When Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to say this verse, his face would become redder, like he was exploding. Why? There's a secret in this verse. The verse is saying, Radhika is saying, when Krishna plays upon his flute, then River Jamuna Devi becomes agitated and she goes into whirlpools. That means, just like some young girl, she wears her veil over and across the body like this. And if Krishna is coming, then she'll tuck the veil in a little bit more to the side, so that her belly button will be revealed, because it's very beautiful. So this is one anubhav. Why? Oh, how to attract Krishna. Let's just tuck it in here, like this. So Krishna will see and be charmed by the Padmanabha, the lotus navel of that gopi. So Radhika's thinking that Jamuna has a whirlpool. Look what she's doing. She's afflicted by so much prem hearing Krishna's flute that she's showing her beauty to Krishna. And the whirlpool is twisting lotus flowers and breaking them from the stem. And then with the waves of her hands, as Krishna comes to the edge of the water and dips his toes in the cooling water of Jamuna, the waves are coming and offering the lotus flowers at the feet of Krishna. Radhika saying this. So this is very nice. And people, they can take it to Krishna Paksh, the glories of Krishna's flute, that Krishna's flute is so powerful and so influential. Even the inanimate river comes alive and becomes filled with romantic love for him. But our Srila Vishnu Thakur, he said that when Krishna, Radhika speaking this verse, but when Krishna plays his flute, then Radhika hears that sound and she goes into so much separation. Ruddha Bhav, Adi Ruddha Bhav, in Adi Ruddha Bhav, what? Brahmanda Kshobha character. Her prem spreads out everywhere by Yavadashravritti and disturbs everything. And disturbs the Jamuna. The reason the Jamuna is having these ecstatic symptoms is not directly because of Krishna's flute, but the Yavadashravritti of Srimati Radhika. So this verse now becomes Radha Paksh, glories of Srimati Radhika, not Krishna's. There are levels. Rasik Vaishnavas can taste in different ways. So this is the glories of Radhika's prem here. So, Sprishati yadi mukundo radhikam tatsakinam vapasi bhafati vapusi kampa sweda romancha baspam adaramudamudasyat chetpibatyesha yatnad bhavati batatadasam mattata chitrametat. When Sprishati yadi mukundo, Krishna comes to meet with Radhika. We discussed the other day, Krishna tries to touch Radhika. Bru bheda-abheda-tattva nahi nahit yukti madena kola. Radhika's eyebrows are frowning, but her face is smiling. She says nahi nahi, but with a trembling voice, meaning that she's very happy. She's trying to stop him with her hands, but her hands are so weak due to ecstasy. So everything she does to try to prevent him and express her disapproval is actually expressing her approval. What is this? Kila kinchit bhav. That is a kila kinchit bhav. Garava bilasa rudito smita suya bayakudam sankaram karanam harsham uchite kila kinchitam. Pride, tears, smiling, crying, ambition. All these things, emotions coming together, kila kinchit bhav. It's kila kinchit bhav if her sakhis are present and watching. If the sakhis are not watching, then the same ecstasy, then that is called the Kuttamitra. Kuttamitra. It's a Kuttamitra and Kila Kinchit are the same, but one Kila Kinchit is others are watching. And if it's in a private place, no one is watching, then it becomes Kuttamitra. Just like when Krishna stole the clothes of the gopis. And he was laughing. And all the gopis were playing in the water up to their waist. But when they heard he's laughing, they became afraid and they ducked under the water. And their faces are on the surface of the water like lotus flowers. That time, all gopis, they had Kila Kinchit Bhav. It was a mass Kila Kinchit Bhav. Krishna seeing all their faces in the water as they were suddenly shy and also happy and also crying and also smiling. And it was the river full of Kila Kinchit Bhav faces. Vastrahan Lila. Yamuna Chatatara Gopi Basanahara. Rasa Rasika Kripama. These songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's full of rasa. So, Kila Kinchit or Kuttamitra, depending on if anyone is present or not. So at that moment, Sprishati Yadi Makunda, when Krishna is trying to touch, any gopi, then Radhika, she's Bhavati Vapusikam Pasweda Romanchu Paspam. She's crying. She's trembling. Romance, her hairs are standing on end. But those same ecstatic symptoms come in the manjuris at the same time. So when it's described, all those emotions in Radhika, in the Lila, you should know the manjuris are washing, and those emotions of manjuris are feeling also. Because they become vyapt. They become vyapt by Radhika's emotions. So Kavi Kanapuri says, Patatya se sasya bhavati pulke jata pulka smite bhati smera sumali mani jate sumalina anasadya swali mukaram abhiviksha swavadanam dukam va sukam va kamapi kataniyam mrigadisha. One Saki is saying to Radhika, oh Radhika, if you're alone at that time, you may need to look in a mirror to find out how is your countenance, whether you look happy or whether you look sad. You need a mirror. But when your Sakis are there, there's no need. There's no need. Why? Because when the Radhika has very, very thick the eyelashes. And when Krishna comes to touch her, she squints her eyes like this. And the tears come, the drops of tears like pearls appearing in between the eyelashes. Very beautiful. And then they fall. So patattasya swasya bhavati. Oh Radhika, when your tears appear and begin to fall, then your Saki's tears appear and begin to fall. Oh Radhika, when your hair stands on end, your Saki's hair stand on end. Oh, when your face lights up with joy. This is very important. The face lights up with joy in the Kila Kinchit Bhav. E bhava yukta deki radhasya nayan. Radha Krishna Sangha hoite pai koti gun. Krishna's Kaviraj says, when Krishna sees Radharani's face light up with Kila Kinchit Bhav, he experiences 10 million times more happiness than their direct union, their direct meeting. How beautiful is this? E bhava yukta deki radhasanayan. Seeing that Kila Kinchit on the face of Radhika, Krishna is so satisfied. Million times more than meeting. Actually, in the Rasa Shastra, they all say that the direct union is the highest thing, but this is one speciality of Rupa Goswami's revelation. Vidagdanam mito lila vilasena yata sukam na tata samprayogena syadevam rasika viduhu. The Rasiks who are very learned, they know that for the couple who are very expert in all amorous affairs, their vilas, their play together gives more happiness. There is not such a happiness in their direct union as just their lila vilas, their playing together. So this is also one example of that, the Kila Kinchit Bhav. So at that time when Radhika has the tears, the hair standing on end, smiling, crying, then all these bhavs, they're reflected in the manjuris and they experience this. So her Saki is saying, oh Radhika, when your Sakis are there, you don't need a mirror. Just look at your Sakis and all of your feelings, you'll know exactly how you look by looking at the faces of your Sakis. How close they are. And among those Sakis, the manjuris are closest of all. Prana prasta Saki kilada pikila sankochta bhumika keli bhumishu rupa manjashi mukas dasika sangsraye. That when Radha Krishna, they enter into a kunj, then Sakis are very happy, they see. But when they see the pastimes is becoming rahasya. Rahasya means there are degrees of rahasya. So the degree of rahasya is measured in terms of the degree of contact between the divine forms of Radha and Krishna. That is called the degrees of rahasya are measured in that. Jiva Goswami explains in Bhakti Sandarbha. So he said, all the pastimes of Radha Krishna are the topmost. But you should be careful. If your body is still affected by the transformations of attraction to the opposite sex, then you should not try to pry into the higher rahasya. Don't go there. It will be bhava virod. It will be against the development of mood. Wait. When realization comes, then the amorous pastimes of Krishna is like a thunderbolt. And all lust is completely destroyed. Vikriditam brajabadube idanta Vishnu sradan vitanu shinayada tavarna yedya bhaktim param bhagavati pratilabhyakamam hridrogam ask pahinota chirena dhira. If we will chant without offense, and Nam will reveal Krishna Roop, Gun, associates, then such a realization will come. How beautiful is this Vikriditam brajabadube? The play between Krishna and Braj Gopis, and that will destroy. Here calm, which is destroyed, means actually avidya. Not only, it does not mean the simple lust. It means avidya will be completely smashed. Because Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Kam Esha Krodha Resha Rajayuguna Samudgava. This calm, this is avritam jnanametena. Jnani no nityavairina, karma rupena kuntaya dushparena analena cha. This calm is a jnana avrita. It's avidya. It's what covers the knowledge of our soul. So even a person who's free from gross lust, but still some avidya is there. First pap goes away, then pap bij goes away, the seeds of pap, and then the last thing is avidya. These gopis, beautiful, loving pastimes with Krishna will destroy that avidya. Prema bhakti ja hoite, avidya vinasayate. So this is very wonderful. So when Radha Krishna meet and it becomes more rahasya, then Lalita Vishaka and others, they know Radha Krishna will become inhibited. So they sit on the bank of Jamuna and they discuss with each other Radha Krishna's glories there. But the manjaris, they can't stay. But they are also very humble. So they think, well, let me just go out of the kunj and I'll watch through the Jalarandra, through the Gawaksh, through the lattice window. And if Radha Krishna then needs something, then we can be there. We're on hand at the exact moment. Whatever they need, we'll be there. So one day, Radha and Krishna were there, sitting on their beautiful flower bed, surrounded by their manjaris. The Sakhis have gone. And Radha and Krishna's, the loving pastimes, they're expanding, like this. At that time, manjaris very humbly, they're just leaving. Inobtrusively, without making any, making Radha Krishna notice, they are just receding and they're going outside. At that time, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, he said, Bahuna kim swakantena kridayanta pilata grihe paryanka distapitam va vastre vatschaditam kochit. Radhika is so loving. She's so kinkri vatsala. Kinkri vatsala means she's full of affection for her maidservants. At that time, she catches one maidservant, and she won't let her go out. And she pulls the maidservant closer, and Radhika just puts her cloth over the maidservant. Yeah. No one will say, stay there. And the lila is going on, and the mantra is right there. Next to Radha Krishna, Radhika's mercifully just covered her with cloth like this. Which Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is saying. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give. We cannot imagine. It is something beyond anyone's expectations. So amazing. And Mahaprabhu has come to give this. And how does he give it? Anarpita charim chirat. This is, I promise, this is absolutely the last verse. Actually, I cannot promise because they're coming out by themselves. I cannot check up. I'm trying to stop, but they keep jumping out. Rupa Goswami saying, Anarpita charim chirat Krunayavartirnaha kalo samarpaitum unnata ujvalarasam swabhakti sriyam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's samarpait, fully giving. The Ujjvala Rasa, the beauty of that Radha Dasyam. He's giving this out of mercy. Then one may say, but how is he giving it? How? Rupa Goswami has given the answer in this verse. What did he say? Hari Purata Sundara Juti Kadamba Sandipitaha. That's the answer. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Anta Krishna Bahigora. Internally he is Krishna, outwardly he is golden. Because Radha Bhava Juti Suvalitam Nomi, he is Krishna saturated, pervaded by the bhava of Srimati Radhika and the complexion of Srimati Radhika. So when Sada Hridaya Kandare Spratuva Sachinandana, when by Sankirtan, one is serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sankirtan, and Mahaprabhu manifests his form in the heart. That is, the form of Krishna, vyapt, completely pervaded by the bhav and complexion of Radhika. And when the love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in the heart, being touched by his golden effulgence, then you develop love for Sri Krishna, pervaded by the love for Srimati Radhika. That is the definition of Bhāvollāsa rati. Understand? Why Mahaprabhu gives Bhāvollāsa rati and how he gives it. Hari Purata Sundara Duti Kadamba Sandipitaha Sada Hridaya Kandare Spratu Va. Va means not me. Va. All of us, everyone. Va Sachinandana. Gaurahi ki jai. Go! Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Varasani Wali ki jai, Jai Jai Sri Nitai Gaur Premanande.